What's going on, everybody? My name is Rico. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my channel is about vlogs, series and tutorials. And in this episode I'm going to show you guys how to edit a picture in Snapseed. And then next week we're going to edit the same photo using Darktable. Right, so before we start, let me grab my phone. Let me hit start on the screen recorder. And this is the end result. Now let me show you guys what we started with. So I'm going to place my thumb on my phone and then now you will see the image that we're going to start with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little symbol right here and I'm going to press reset. Everything is going to be reset. There we go. So now we've got the original image again. The first thing that I want to do is I want to do some basic adjustments, and for that you go to tools and then you go to adjustments, and then we've got a couple of options. We've got brightness, contrast, saturation, contrast or something like a local contrast, and then highlights, shadows and warmth. What we're going to do is I'm going to decrease the brightness just a little bit, not too much, and I'm going to increase the contrast by quite a bit. There we go. And then I'm going to increase the saturation as well with about 20, 21. And then we're going to add some more contrast, not too much, but just a tad. And then I want to preserve the highlights a little bit, and you can see the highlights in the clouds behind the trees. So if you drag it all the way to the left, you see artifacts and halos, and it just doesn't look good. So if you put it to the right, it's very overexposed. I'm just going to tune it down just a little bit. I think -15 will be fine. It still looks kind of natural. And then the shadows, we're not going to mess with that, because if I pull it to the right or to the left, you see what happens. It becomes either way too dark or way too bright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to darken it just a little bit, and I'm going to keep everything as is. We will be dodging and burning this image in a minute, but for now we're going to keep it as is. I'm not going to change the warmth of this image. Reason being is because we're going to use the curves to color grade this photo. So now that we're done, I'm going to hit the checkbox and the first settings have been applied. If I press my finger or thumb or whatever on the phone, you will see that this is the original one, and then this is the end result after we've done some basic adjustments. So now I'm going to use the tools and I'm going to details, and you've got two options. One is structure, the second one is sharpening. So if I use the structure and I put it to the right, you see that it becomes, I kind of like how this looks actually. Obviously it's artificial, but it really makes the image pop. And if I drag it to the left, it's way too soft. And in my opinion, this resembles the local contrast module of Darktable. So let's just enhance it by quite a bit, 20, there we go. I want to sharpen the image as well. This is a JPEG. In Darktable we will be editing from the raw. So the sharpening has already been done in camera. But for now I'm going to add some more sharpening. So about 20 I think. Yeah, that looks fine. Let me hit the checkbox again, go to tools. And now the fun part is going to happen, because we're going to color grade this photo. So I'm going to use the curves. And you've got a couple of options. The first one is the RGB. That will basically tune all the things or all the color pixels. I don't like how this looks, so let me reset that real quick. Tools, curves, there we go. And then you've got red, green, blue and luminance. Luminance is the brightness. So if you pull it up, it becomes far more bright. And if you pull it down, it becomes far more dark. What I want to do right now is I want to start with the reds, and I want to increase the reds in the shadows, but I want to increase the reds in the highlights as well. So for that, what we need to do is we need to grab this point on the right top, which is for the highlights. I'm going to drag it to the left just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing with the shadows. And then if you do that, oh, let me try that again. There we go. And if you do that, you see that the midtones will follow as well. So I'm going to keep that as is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch to the blue ones. We're not going to switch to the green ones just yet. And I want to decrease the blue. So I want to decrease them in the shadows. So that's why I'm going to pull it to the right. I want to decrease them in the highlights as well. So I'm going to pull those down a little bit. There we go. And now it's time to use the green one. With the green one, if you pull it up, you add green to the image. And if you pull it down, you add magenta. I want to add magenta, so I'm going to pull it down in the midtones, I think. No, I'm going to keep that as is. I'm going to drop it down in the shadows a little bit to introduce it into the shadows. And I'm going to keep the highlights as is. I'm going to hit the checkbox. And now that we're done, let me show you guys before and after again. So here's the before. So this is the image that we started with. And now here we go. Here's the image after we're done with it. We have applied some color correction to it, and we've applied some color grading to it. I think this looks pretty fine. And now the real challenge starts, because I want to create the same exact image in darktable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this image so that I can put it on my screen to watch. And then next week you guys will see how I make this image in darktable. I hope you guys like it. Snapseed tutorials is something new. You guys know that I used to make darktable tutorials, and I still make darktable tutorials. So don't think that just because I'm not uploading darktable tutorials twice a week anymore, that I won't be making them at all. The thing is that I've made a bunch of videos over the past year, and I wanted to do something else. I want to experiment a little bit, and you can only do so much in a certain program. There's plenty of options left in darktable, so don't worry. I will be giving you guys more darktable tutorials. I will be making tutorials about other programs as well, because this channel is about vlogs, series and tutorials, and the tutorials are about photo and video. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a program that you would like me to try out, it has to be photo or video related. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do. For this week, there's only one more thing left for me to say, which is make love to the like button, consider subscribing if you haven't already, hit that bell button to be the first to be notified when I drop in a video, and until next time, doei!